Bitcoin history is repeating. We are seeing liquidity sweeps above and under the previous all-time high in 2025, just like we've seen in 2024. So that's exactly what we need to discuss within today's update video, but we will discuss a lot more than only that because there is so much important information to be talking about within this new update video. So first of all, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel and smash on that like button under my latest YouTube video and under this new YouTube video if you are enjoying the content, and then we can dive in towards the most important information here. Since Bitcoin is currently making liquidity sweeps at both the top side and the downside of previous resistance, and that is making me that's reminding me of exactly what happened in 2024 on a much bigger time frame, but now it's simply happening a lot quicker. Basically from 2021 to 2025, we also saw a similar move down. Of course, it was a move of much bigger magnitude, but the structure is actually looking quite similar here. We saw a new move up, and before Bitcoin absolutely exploded to new all-time highs, we saw the creation of a new bull flag slightly under the previous all-time highs. And that's exactly what's also happening in 2025, where we are seeing that new bull flag. Within that bull flag, we are grabbing liquidity above and under the previous all-time highs before we see a major breakout to the top side. And I don't think it will be any different this time. I do think Bitcoin will be initiating that final move to the upside from this bull flag to a price target over $120,000. So history seems to be exactly repeating here, and it's definitely making me quite excited. And it would make sense for Bitcoin to make a large move out of this consolidation zone, because we have been consolidating for over 220 days. I have been discussing this consolidation zone a lot in my previous YouTube videos because there are different ways to approach this exact consolidation box. So if you do want to know everything about that, make sure to check out my latest YouTube video. But basically we have been consolidating for over 220 days within this new consolidation zone, and from here it would make a lot of sense to see a major breakout higher, because that's exactly what happened two previous times before during this bull market. So actually it seems like Bitcoin is getting ready for that new big move higher. Also because the Bitcoin volatility index just touched a new low we haven't seen since 2023. Since the ending of 2023, we haven't seen the Bitcoin volatility index making such a low. And normally afterwards, the Bitcoin volatility index will see a major spike. And since I'm still expecting a big move to the top side, this could be exactly in line with that next major move. So definitely quite interesting there. Also, we do know that Bitcoin is exactly following the global liquidity in this PO3 pattern. So it does both to the top side and also to the downside, but now we are in a major trend to the upside within this pattern. We are following the global liquidity, and ultimately I do think Bitcoin will be following that global liquidity much further to the top side. Of course, the correlation could differ a little bit. Sometimes Bitcoin will lag behind, sometimes it will front run the global liquidity, but in the end I do think from here on that longer term, yes, Bitcoin will be following that global liquidity, which is making me bullish. And something making me even more bullish is that this global liquidity is expanding at the fastest rate since Q4 2021. So that's absolutely insane. So we could be expecting that this global liquidity, this orange line, is going to move much higher from here, and then eventually Bitcoin will just be following further to the top side. So if this global liquidity expansion is about to continue here, then we can definitely raise our Bitcoin price targets here. So that is definitely looking quite insane. And of course, Bitcoin is currently bouncing out of the perfect setup for a new move higher, where we have seen that liquidity grab at the downside of the consolidation box. And that's also something we have seen before a few times during this bull market, that ultimate liquidity grab to trap the bears, and from there we see a new major move higher. That's what we have seen every single time during all these big consolidation zones before during this bull market. So it seems like, yeah, Bitcoin is actually lining up for a new major move higher. Also because we are trading in a new month. So July is usually a strong month for Bitcoin with a return over 8% on the median. So that is also looking quite insane. I do think there's a high probability of seeing Bitcoin making a major bounce to the top side within July here. And then I do want to discuss the Bitcoin ETF flows, since we haven't seen any outflows since 6th June here. So we are almost seeing inflows for over a month, consecutive inflows for over a month here. That is absolutely insane for Bitcoin. And this institutional accumulation is currently saving us from seeing Bitcoin making a new move downwards. Because if we take a look into the on-chain data, actually retail investor demand is dumping here. Retail investors are capitulating here, but normally that is quite a bullish bottoming signal, because from this bull market we do know once that retail investor demand comes back and it combines with the volume of the ETF flows, we normally see those Bitcoin consolidation phases break out to the top side and we see a new major Bitcoin move from there. So it's exactly playing out like we have seen every single time before during this bull market, and this is going to be a super important chart. And then I do want to quickly discuss the most important news hitting the market here, since Trump is now pushing to add an amendment to remove Bitcoin capital gains tax on payments. So that is definitely going to be something absolutely insane for adoption there. And today Fed Chair Powell is going to speak once again, so definitely expect some volatility within the markets during that speech. And then let's discuss the Ethereum price action, because most people are still overcomplicating Ether, but I'm not. ETH is still consolidating within this ascending triangle on this super big time frame, so ETH is still looking insanely bullish. Currently the price action is a little bit slow, it's a little bit boring, but ultimately I do think yes, we are going to move towards that range high, which is still my conservative target for Ethereum, where I will be taking most of my profits, because I've been accumulating on the way down here. This ultimate low on this range low, this conservative target is my ultimate ETH price target. If you're a little bit more bullish on Ethereum and you think that we can be breaking through that range high, which I definitely do think is possible, then you can be looking at this bull case, which is laying over $6,000. And yeah, I do think this is possible, but personally I do like it to be just a little bit more conservative and be taking some profits on time. I do think this is definitely going to happen in the second half of this year, because now we are in the most bullish year of the cycle, the post-halving year basically, and that's the phase where always at the end stage of the year Ethereum and altcoins tend to go the most parabolic, so I don't think it will be any different this time. Also, Wall Street giant Tom Lee is aiming to create a micro strategy of Ethereum, so also that is looking quite interesting. I do think institutional adoption is going to be something very important also in this ending stage of the cycle for Ethereum. And then I do want to quickly discuss the total crypto market cap, but now also on the total crypto market cap, a major head and shoulders pattern is playing out. So from here, I'm definitely expecting a new big move higher for the total crypto market cap and also bullish price action for altcoins. And that could come exactly on the right time, because currently the altcoins, the others dominance is bouncing off this 10-yearly support line. So this is going to be quite an interesting level for altcoins here. If you're going to break lower, then we are going to see more bleeding for altcoins, or we could see a major bounce from here. And then I do also think we will see a new big move high get initiated from that 10-yearly support line. Yeah, definitely a quite interesting chart here. Then if we take a look into towards the altcoins where the most money is currently flowing, then we still see that most stablecoin supply is flowing in towards Ethereum, and also for example the top Bridge net flows, most of those are flowing into Arbitrum, so an Ethereum layer 2. So that is still looking quite bullish for the Ethereum ecosystem here, and I do think that ecosystem will be the best performer in this last phase of the year. Also, because so many institutions are now building on the Ethereum, are building an Ethereum solution themselves, or are simply building on Ethereum itself. So I do think, yes, you are not bullish enough. These institutions aren't building on Ethereum to make a loss in the near future. So that's definitely going to be super important to understand here. And also this strong ETH accumulation, we haven't seen anything like this before in history. Such strong Ethereum accumulation in this consolidation phase. Yes, I do think Ethereum is currently a sleeping giant, and from here we are about to see a new big move higher in the near future. Also because for altcoins, it seems like it's time to be bouncing out of this Bitcoin season territory. because it's June, and normally in June altcoins tend to bottom. So from here, I do think we will see more upside for altcoins. And guys, that was it for today's update video. I hope you guys enjoyed this update video. It was packed with a lot of information, definitely. So if you did enjoy it, make sure to smash on that like button. And I will see you guys within the next update video tomorrow.